Let's bring in One Nation leader Pauline Hanson, who joins me from Queensland. Good to talk to you again, Pauline. This has just been such a shocking event. It's great that they've got a suspect and the wheels of justice are in motion. The fact that a death penalty is going to be pursued is going to reignite debate, not just in the US, but around the world here. What's your view on the death penalty being pursued here?
I'm all for it. I don't have a problem with it at all. I see that, charges for murder in this country as well is just going down. There's no real penalties for the crimes that are committed. And for those heinous crimes like the Daniel Morcombe murder or Shani Kinney, these are people, I believe, you forfeit your lives. We don't have a safe society anymore. How many people are living in fear? And I think that if there was the death penalty for some crimes that are proven that there's no doubt and it was premeditated murder, they've gone out there to take these people's lives, why should the taxpayer be funding these people in prisons for over $100,000 or $150,000 a year? Why are we doing that? I want a safe society. And if you put tough sentences in and say, well, mate, if you want to go out and take the life of someone, well, then be prepared to lose your own. I'm sure a lot of them wouldn't go out there and commit these murders. And don't forget the families, the loved ones. They've lost their loved one for life. I just don't believe they have a right to live.
You mentioned the Shani Kinney murder. That was, for people outside of Queensland, another particularly horrendous child abduction, rape and murder where they got the couple that were responsible for that. They've both since died in prison, I think. But do you think that there is a realistic market, if you like, for want of a better word, for a discussion of the death penalty in this country? That's been and gone, hasn't it?
I think it has, Chris. I think we're past it because we're a signatory to the UN, which won't allow for this to happen. So you're going to have all these people up in arms screaming about it. But I tell you what, Chris, when I was in prison, I was in there with Faye Cram. She was the one who actually was responsible for the murder of Shani Kinney. And I sat opposite her and I just said to her, I said, if you were the one, anyone laid a hand on my daughter, as you have done, I said I'd be the one that actually would pull the trigger.
You spoke directly to the killer. You spoke directly to the killer and you told her that she should die.
Yep. I was in prison with her, with this heart. She just looked at me. She couldn't say anything. I got on all right, with them, and I had to. I was in those circumstances. I couldn't do anything about it. And they threw me in with these murderers and, child abusers and different ones. But I made my point very clear. They knew how I felt about these things. I didn't back away from it, Chris.
Extraordinary. What an extraordinary experience. What a heinous crime. And to come face to face with the woman involved, just extraordinary. I want to go on to the fallout from Charlie Kirk and show you what the independent Senator Fatima Payman has said about it online. Here we go.
So what do I think about Charlie Kirk? And obviously his assassination. I think he was a pretty awful person. And he doesn't deserve all the recognition he's getting. It would have been best to not have him assassinated and for him to remain a footnote in the Trumpian era of the United States. Yeah, Charlie Kirk got shot and he's RIP. Whatever you want RIP to stand for. Some people will say it's not peace, so fill in the blanks, people. Fill in the blanks.
Look, there are some people online saying RIP stands for something else horrendous and insulting. Yeah. I just find that terrible. The only reason she regrets the political assassination of Charlie Kirk is because it's drawn attention to his movement and his arguments. What sort of behaviour is that from a senator in this country?
To me, that's a vile comments that she made, and when I questioned her on the floor of Parliament about her citizenship, she was screaming at me, she was calling me a racist and all these names just because I questioned her ability, or not her ability, that she had the right to be in Parliament due to the Section 44 of the Australian Constitution, and the vile that came out of her mouth then, calling me names. I'm going to do everything that I can. I want to see the back end of her. She's up for re-election at the next federal election, and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to actually win that seat so she doesn't get back into Parliament. I want to see these people gone. You know, I've been criticised for years, Chris, and I've been called all different names. I should be witch, burnt at the stake, racist, xenophobic, all these things that I've been called. But, you know, just because I have a difference of opinion and I state my facts, the same as Charlie Kirk, you know, he's a person that wasn't vile to people. He treated them with respect. If he didn't agree with them, he told them, but he asked them their opinions and why they thought that way. You know, this is not a person to be ridiculed the way that he is. He's a person to be respected for his freedom of speech and allowing other people to have their say as well. You know, I'm so disappointed with these people, and as a Member of Parliament, I hope she's gone.
Thanks for joining us, Pauline. I appreciate it. Pauline Hanson there, live from Scenic Rim in Queensland.